Hello, hello. I don't know if anybody is here yet, but I am. So I'm going to do some starts. Um, One of the areas that is of interest that's roaming around in my head this week is that 45 is very cornered right now. So the next couple weeks, if you're interested in politics, the next couple weeks are going to be wicked. They're just going to be wicked. And he's feeling cornered because of the threats from the different people who have the money manipulation and the information manipulation, what they have over him and what he has over them. Like it's just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Um, and then there's the public outcry for the PDO documents that are being demanded. So that's like he's very cornered. So expect the next few weeks to be bizarre. And with that, bring yourself to the center of that storm, the eye of the storm where everything is calm. And if you can shut off, we need to tap into the news to know what's going on. But at the same time, you need reliable news sources. And I highly recommend ground news if you can. Or you could also look at the news from other countries like the BBC. Al Jazeera is a really good source. They have an external perspective on what's going on in our country, and yet still very professional and knowledgeable. And I'm kind of pausing because some other stuff is going through my head right now. So anyway, tap into the news to be aware of what's going on, but protect yourself a lot during this period of time because we're going to need it. Turn off when you can. Pay attention to self-care when you can. And that, I was in a meeting with a group thing this morning with Susan Lynn, and she said, if your self-care is just slathering your body with lotion, that's self-care, and that's good. Gardening is good, being out in nature is good, going for a swim is good, exercise is good. Just tap out of the politics. And if you're a long-term follower of this channel, I've spent some time on politics, and I've kind of stepped back from that for a while now because of my own self-care. So that's really, really where what I'm suggesting other people do. Okay. Hello, good afternoon, Beanish and Kayla. Is it Kayla? Kayla and Quantum AZ1. Hi. Hello. Beanish, hi, is free reading available? I am willing to answer specific questions. Do you have a specific question? Can you turn your volume down? Thanks. Okay, go ahead and type it in the chat. Okay, is somebody new? Beanish, I'm feeling like you've got, so just for everybody's information, when I look off this way, it's because I'm like seeing a movie. And it just kind of lets me connect with spirit answers. So I'm not ignoring you. I'm watching and hearing, and it's like this movie going on over here that I'm conveying. So just FYI. Okay. So Beanish, I'm feeling like I've got a yes and a no. So that's telling me that yes, but it's not going to be long term. And the reason it's probably not going to be long term is because you've got work that you need to do on you. What I know from my own life is that you have to love yourself thoroughly before you can truly love somebody else and let them love you. And I think I'm going to recommend these guys. These are Shadow Work Oracle cards. And I feel like you don't need a lot. Let me pop open here. Let me pop these open and see. And the card that comes up is Find Wholeness, bring together fragments that complete you, acceptance, and inner peace. So that says to me that the work that you need to do on the inside is accepting yourself as you are, as the beautiful, unique human being. You don't need anybody else's approval. You don't need anybody else's validation of who you are. You just need your own. And once you go through that and you do that work, that's when the meaningful relationship will come to you. Okay? You're welcome. Anybody else have a question? My husband's coming in. You're welcome.
Hello, everybody.
This is my husband, Pierre. I'm Lynn. I don't know if I said that at the beginning. I do want to say everything here is for entertainment purposes only. Any statements I make about any others is alleged. This is, we're not given a lot of credit for what but also, it's fine. It's entertainment. We'll go with that. Kayla, did you have a question? Or Quantum AZ1, did you have a question? Hi, Magul. Hello. I'm not sure I'm saying that right. Please accept my apologies if I'm not. Sure. Absolutely. It's an ask me anything. I'll cover whatever you want. For the most part. Awesome. Go ahead with your question when you're ready. I got an instant no. Magul, I got an instant, very strong no. I feel like, why? I feel like there are control issues and anger. And if one of you want to have kids, the other one does not. And if kids do come into that relationship, it will be really difficult and traumatic. Is that an explanation? Does that make sense? Does it resonate with you at all? I almost feel like there's a chemical imbalance, like the gut health, the gut biome needs some attention. Magul, does that address, does that answer? Or do you have anything else that you want to expand on? Like a direction you want me to kind of pick up on? Hi, Michael. I see your question. Give me a minute. I want to Quantum Arizona or AZ1. Thank you for the blessings and the love and light. Same back to you. Can you tell me whatever the guides, the spirit guides or source want me to know? Quantum, I don't really work that way. Normally I don't just pull messages out. I'm better if you have a specific question or direction that you want to, if like there's a specific topic, whether that be, I don't know, school or work or relations or, some other situation you've got going on in your life, it helps me focus that energy a little better to communicate. Does that matter? Does that make sense? If you could, I'm going to go on and come back. So if you'll type, if you've got something more specific. Okay, I see your question. What's up with the black moon? Is this a time to be alone, perhaps? The black moon is really a great time to set your intentions for what you want the future to be. And by that, I mean recognizing the work you want to do on you. For example, like, if this is a spiritual journey for you, where you want, what growth you want over the next. So, for example, it could be as soon as the full moon again, or it could be over the next year, or it could be over the next 10 years. But setting your intention, like, this is a goal I want to achieve. This is the energy I want to bring to my life. So that's what the black moon will help you with. I don't do anything with astrology. I don't know astrology enough to really speak about it. So I can't answer specific questions like to your astrological signs and how that connects with black moon energy. Some other channels that might help you if you're looking for that is Cosmic Owl and Professional Aquarian. Who else? Touched by Tarot, Afefe Tehimbe. those three would be good if you're looking for astrological information to go along with Black Moon, because there's a lot of people putting out Black Moon stuff, and because I don't do the astrological work, it's hard for me to really talk about it. So at least in a way that is comprehensive. Okay. Michael Stevens, will I find a topic to write about? What genre do you like? And is it fiction, nonfiction, journalistic writing? Because I feel like any of those would be, I feel like you love history as well. And getting action thriller, scientific, or sci-fi. Very futuristic. And I think if you started meditating every day, you'd get the story. You'd just start downloading it from spirit. And I think if you meditated for, I know it's a time commitment, but I think if you did 20-minute meditations every day for a while, you'd get your story and it would just like flow from you. So I love gossip too. Don't we all? Nonfiction essay. Oh, interesting. So are you saying like short stories? I know that there are some opinion of current events. Oh, interesting. So analysis.
Can be also journalistic.
Yeah, very. I know that there are lots of, well, I shouldn't say lots, but there are options for publishing short stories. I'm stuck on your nonfiction essay. Who are you wanting to write about, Michael? Because there's something more here that you're not telling me. I can feel that. Opinion of current events. Okay. That's awesome. I get it from the New York Times writing prompts. Oh, fascinating. I'll have to look for those. That sounds interesting. You know, a lot of times a friend of mine does short story writing, and so she had connections. I don't know if she still does because it's been a while. She's had some health issues. But she knew publishers of like some magazines or online magazines that would publish, and that might be something you want to look into if that is the route you want to go. But I also feel like there's a journalistic side of you, and I feel like though that you need to work for a source that's not going to limit the content you can cover. And I know a lot of the newspapers in the and television in the U.S. are really limiting what can be published. And in fact, YouTube is doing the same thing. Like a lot of the tarot readers here, and the, like what I'm doing right now, they're tagging.
Censoring.
They're tagging us, and they're kind of censoring what we can say. So just keep that in mind, that you may need to go outside of the United States to get to be able to publish what you want to publish. Thank you, as well to you. Okay. Quantum, I wanted to come back. Okay, I see. Thank you. Okay, good. Magul, yes, I would like to know if I will find somebody else then. You will. Like I said, if you sure, you can ask. Go for it. Nope. No. I think it's more of a, is she willing to marry him? I'm not feeling it. I think the issue lies with Ghazi Taimur. And I'm not sure I'm saying that name properly. And if I'm not, I'm so sorry. And I feel like the issues that I spoke about earlier, that I see your note. He is popular and has a lot of options. He may think he's got a lot of options, but until he does the work on himself to be healthy both physically and mentally, he's nobody worth your while. How's that? He's not worthy of you. Good. Okay. Does anybody else have a question? I see your note. He's a good person, very likable. But what is he like behind closed doors? Went to Harvard, ambitious. Yep. Driven. What's he like on his private time when he can let his guard down? When he feels safe to let everything go? Because I feel like that's really that's the space. That's the space that can be challenging. And again, I just want to say, allegedly, and for entertainment purposes only, I don't know these people. So my read is what I'm picking up from spirit, and I could be completely wrong. Okay. Yeah, see, I have no idea. It's In my lifetime, I've known a lot of people who give off this public persona of being the very likable person, the very friendly person, the very loving person, the very outgoing person, and then behind closed doors, not that. One of my very dear friends years ago was married to somebody who, how do I say this? Beat the living shit out of her every chance he could. And when it came out in their small town that she had left him and why she had left him, nobody in the town believed her. They all thought he was this really great guy until he told the bartender in town that if it was the last thing that he ever did, he was going to murder her. And then that, went to the police. So yeah, it really is. Yeah. So, what people show you is not who they are behind closed doors. They have a public persona and a private persona. And that private persona is the real persona. And you think you know somebody, but until you're with them in private for a long time, when they know that they can let their guard down and be their authentic selves, that's the real person. And you don't, if they're, people know what they want to hide. They know what's socially acceptable. A lot of times that behavior won't come out, won't show itself until the person that they're with is, I say, on the hook. I don't know if you know what that means, but it means that they're connected, that they're there's no easy way out of the situation, whether that's signing on the dotted line that you got married or that you're moving in together and you're sharing rent. And I'm so sorry. That type of thing. It's okay. The do not disturb is on. But it's when they get somebody locked in, that's when their true self comes out. And that's the most dangerous time. Once their true self is shown, getting away from that is really hard. So, I really feel like I do want to say that we all have trauma. We all have those things in our life that stay with us unless we address them. And I like to call those the elephant in the room. If you don't talk about the elephant in the room, the elephant keeps getting bigger and forces itself to become something you have to deal with. And if you don't deal with it, it follows you all your life. And it will create situations in your life that push you towards dealing with it. And I feel like that's what's happening with him. Does any of this make sense, Magul? You're very welcome. You're very welcome. I usually say this each time I have a live, and I'll say it again today. If you are in a space where you want to work with somebody or be their life partner or that type of thing, you need to make sure that they are worthy of you. And a lot of us are conditioned to believe that we have to be worthy of them, where we have to prove ourselves or we have to work really hard to get their approval and validation. And here's the thing, that approval and validation, and that, are these circumstances good for me, is what we need to be asking ourselves. Is this the right place for me to be right now where I am at in my life journey? And so what I'm saying is, we've been conditioned to think that we have to prove ourselves to somebody else to make ourselves worthy of them. No, they have to they have to prove that they are worthy of us, right? They have to show up and be authentic, and they have to be honest, and they have to be ethical. And a willingness to work on their stuff, which is not always easy. Not always easy at all. So, okay, good. Thank you. I'm so glad that I was 43 when he and I got married. I was 40 when we started dating. 41 when we started dating. So don't worry about how old you are. It's just a number. He and I have an incredible partnership, a great deal of respect and love for each other, and joy and laughter. And if I had started this relationship earlier in my life with him, I was a hot mess. I was a hot mess, and I needed to get right with me before I could be right with him. So ignore the number. It's just pure pressure. It's outside. Think of that, oh my gosh, I'm 33 and I'm not married yet. Who cares? It doesn't matter. And even if you stay single all your life and you're never married, that's okay too. I don't have children from my own body. And here in the United States, I don't know where you're from, but that's another form of conditioning and socialization and peer pressure and bully pressure of, this is your role because you are, you're these circumstances, you're female and you need to have kids. And so there's that traditional role that your community expects you to fill. You are a unique human being, and you can drive your own path. You create your own path. You make it what you want it to be, what's right for you. And you don't have to ask for anybody else's approval. So, can I tell you if there's black magic done on me? That's not something I'm willing to do. Sorry. No. And the reason I'm not willing to do that is because sometimes that energy likes to rub off on somebody else who's tapping into your energy. So I would say this: if you have a pendulum of any kind, and seriously, you can use anything for a pendulum. Like I have an actual pendulum that I use, but I've used a plug. It's the cord with the plug on the end, and I've used that as a pendulum. And you can ask yes or no from that, and show it what you like. I use back and forth as a yes, and I use side to side as a no, and an angle as a maybe, and a circular as a I don't know. So that's how but you can, just bring your energy in, ask for protection, the highest and greatest good, and only the highest and greatest good energy to answer your questions. And then that way you'll get the yes or no that you need from that question. Okay. All right. Is there anybody else here who has a question? Go up here and check. You're very welcome for the guidance. You're very welcome. I hope everything goes well for you. Thanks, you too. Anybody else have a question? Aw, thank you. We really do. We're fun. we're just fun. We're goofy. That's all. We tend to
Leave the mark.
yeah, we do. Thank you. Yes, we are. Very calm together. Yeah. Very calm together. All right. Well, it looks like we try to be. We're fun. We're goofy. We laugh a lot. You know,
When it's possible.
yeah. Not, life is life and it comes with some issues, but normal. Okay, well, it seems like nobody else is asking any questions. I don't know if anybody else is still here. I do. Hi, Crystal. Welcome. Would you like to ask a question about anything? I'm good. How are you?
Who's that?
No clue.
You're reading?
I'm reading, yeah. Crystal, I'm not seeing much. Like you might go out on a few dates, but nothing that seems interesting to you. It's probably going to be a good year and a half before you find somebody who's worthy of your attention and time. Sorry, it's probably not what you wanted to hear, was it? Beanish, of course you can ask a question. Go ahead. You're welcome. You're welcome, Crystal. Beanish, nope. Beanish, I want to say no. I don't feel like Mirza is right for you. And I would tell you to I feel like if you're involved in community events of I don't know if this is your job or if this is I feel like there's resources that you're putting together for people in crises. And it's like I'm seeing you putting stuff in Ziploc baggies. Like women's period supplies, and it's like there's a crisis where you live and you're there to just lend to do whatever needs to be done, whatever little job you can do. And I feel like that might be where you're going to meet somebody who's worthy of you. I don't get time, so I can't give you an estimate of time, but I feel like if you're involved in community stuff and you're volunteering, that will be where you're most likely to meet somebody worthy of you. Okay. Beanish, I see your you get anything on that?
I have not read it.
On the Mary Mirza, is he right for me and is very social and does community work? Are you getting anything on that? Beanish, have you done community work with Mirza?
Being social doesn't mean that
That's the right person for you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You may work with him. You may how should I say it?
Not together. Okay.
Okay. No, I don't see it either. Nope.
Okay. He conducts workshops. Well, I do feel like if you get involved in community, like volunteering, community events like that, where there's a need, I think that's going to be your best option if you're looking for a love connection. But again, you have to love yourself completely first. You have to accept parts of you, and as much as possible, address any trauma that you've had in your past. And we've all had trauma, and it is not easy to face it and go, okay, this is what it did to me. This is how I've made decisions in my life to avoid dealing with that trauma, and then how that trauma has driven your decisions too, because they definitely do that. Good. I'm glad. Crystal, I see your post. Hi, Bonita. Welcome. All right. So you forgot to mention that and sent me $3,000 towards the payment that he owes you. Still has balance of 11,000, and you want to know if the new relationship would look like going forward. Well, the card that came up is new start, new beginning. I don't see you getting back together with Venus. You're very welcome. Oh, just being amicable. Yeah. No, you're still being manipulated. Oh, let me see if I can get that. There we go. You're still being manipulated. You're still being there's still yucky stuff going on behind your back. It's as far down as it goes. Yep, I see it. So because YouTube has kind of changed things, I do want to repeat my disclaimer. This is all for entertainment purposes only. Anything that I say here is alleged. I don't know the people that I'm speaking to or about, and just got to cover my behind. Good, Crystal. I see you. Good. Benita, I'm seeing a slowdown. That and you can certainly ask, communicate. You can say, hey, am I reading this right? I'm feeling like, and if I am reading it right, what do you want to do about it? So, it's very kind of forward. In movement. I'm not sure what that means. In movement. Oh, he's very slow in movement. But is he slow in making a decision about what he wants to do? Is that what you're saying? Okay. In your country, how do other people
show their feelings?
Yeah, how would somebody in your position in life show your feelings that you're receptive for his attention if that's what you want? With family's approval. Okay. Do you have your family's approval yet? I see.
Well, sometimes you have to go against
But
somebody.
That's what
I
you and
know
I can
is a
say, but
different. I know.
we
It's difficult sometimes.
Yeah, it's hard to go against your family. It's hard to go
Yeah.
against your family. I don't know what to tell you, Benita. I think if your family is not supportive, it won't be successful. And unless you're willing to
Separate.
unless you're willing to separate from your family, which would be really hard on you to go against their wishes and their will. That's good. That his family is receptive to this. You know, if his family can talk with your family and get them on board with it, that might be something that would be, that's a path that could get you there. I feel like there is, like, this is there's a difference in stations in life involved. And that's part of the issue at hand with your family.
Finish. I have another question.
Who just be? Oh, yeah. Go ahead, Beanish. Type it in. I'm hearing yes about your aunt. And your uncle does have your interests at heart, but proceed with caution. I feel like your uncle is, like, your aunt just wants to see you happy. And your uncle wants to see you happy, but within certain parameters. Like, he has his idea of what he believes will make you happy. It may not align with your idea. And while his heart intends for you to have a good life, it's a different path than I feel like you want to take. And your aunt doesn't have those guardrails in place, like, or those not guardrails, requirements in place. Like, your uncle's like, you need somebody who does this, you need somebody who does that, you need a job that does this, your job needs to do that, your education has to do this. You have to follow that prescribed path. Whereas your aunt is like, go do what makes you happy, what makes you fulfilled. Does that make sense to you? Okay, good. Thank you for that. And in terms of, can you trust them? Depends on what your Depends on what you're trusting them with. Your aunt is going to tell your uncle whatever you tell her. So if your uncle is of a mind that you need to be on a different path, and you tell your aunt you want to do this, and your uncle wants you to go that way, if you tell your aunt you want to do this, your uncle's going to override her. There will be discussions and arguments about it, but in the end, I feel like he would win. I'm just asking if there's a way around this. And I feel like there is, but it is not a path you want to follow. It'll make your life really hard. Really hard and really traumatic. Oh, wow. Your uncle does black magic. Wow. Now I understand your question from earlier. Yikes. The family knows about it. Okay. Yeah, I suspect that's why. Yep. I suspect that's why if you don't follow what he wants you to do, what he agrees you can and should do, why you will face a life that is very difficult and very traumatic. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't talk him into it, because you are his beloved niece and you have the opportunity to go to him and say, listen, uncle, I want to do this. I feel like my passion lies here. Can you help me get there? Can I get there with your permission? I'm sorry, Beanish. I'm sorry to see that. Yeah. Yeah, the wants to win all the time, that win at all costs, that's tough to live with. Been there, done that. It is not fun to be around that energy at all. And so very often you have to learn how to manipulate the conversation to let them believe that they came to that idea themselves and gave permission on their own without any pushing from you. I think there's a path that you can get what you want out of this. It's going to take a lot of work. It's probably years. It's probably years. I don't think you can overpower him, but I do think you can be frank with him. You can be honest with him and say,
and take his power with you.
well, no.
No, in the meaning that you get these favors.
Oh, yeah. So, okay. So what my husband is saying is that Somebody who has to be right all the time has to believe that it was their idea to begin with. And very often when you come to them with a proposal of what you want to do with your life, how you want to pursue things in your life, their first reaction, because they're the ones in control, they're the ones in power, is to tell you no, because they didn't come up with that idea, right? And so the question then becomes, how do you convey to them this is the life that you want to pursue, that gets them to think, yep, I can get behind that. Yes, I support that. And I'm not sure that I have good methodology for that for you.
It's hard.
But I do feel like you have people in your life who have successfully accomplished that. And I feel like your aunt would be a good source to help you with that. Of course. Even your mother listens to him, of course. Yep. Because he has that position in the family. That I completely understand that. I completely understand that. And I do want to say, it's not that you want to overpower him. I completely understand that too. Uh-huh. Yep. I suspect there are a lot of people in in his life that feel that way. And remember earlier when I said who people are in front of everybody and who they are behind closed doors? That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. So I'm sorry you have to deal with that. I'm very sorry you have to deal with that. Yeah, that's rough. That is rough. And in my experience, there's only been one way. Well, two ways to get away from that. And one is to completely walk away and never look back, which means never contacting them, never asking for help, never, like, just being gone. And I almost feel like to do that, you would have to, oh gosh. I heard disappear off the face of the earth, but that to me means you would have to assume a different identity. Could be a name change, could be a move to a different country. If you married somebody he didn't approve of, he would find a way to end that. Wow. Oh gosh. The guides are jumping up and down on my vagus nerve right now, which means I'm nauseous, which means I'm really right. Really right. Holy cow. Okay. I kind of feel like I don't want to talk about your uncle anymore. I feel like we're getting too close to his energy, and I don't want to play with that. Wow. Yeah. That's
Nope.
yeah. I don't know how to. I have no guidance for you on this. it's above my pay grade. It's beyond my scope. It's beyond my scope of ability to guide you, and it feels very
dark.
mafioso. Like he's the don of the family, the leader of the family, and what he says goes. And if anybody bucks him, fights back, says something in response, it's not good. And there's no getting away from that. And when he transitions to spirit, somebody else will take his place. And he's already groomed that person very well. It's okay. I know how to put up my boundaries. Thank you, though, I appreciate the, yeah. Sabinish, yes, I do. That's exactly what I saw in terms of his son. Yeah. Dupre, hi, welcome. And yes, I am still taking questions. You can ask about anything. If it is beyond my scope, I will say so. If it makes me uncomfortable, I will say so. And everything here is for entertainment purposes only, and everything is alleged because I don't know the people I'm talking to or about. Sarabi, and I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. I don't know. I don't get a time. I can tell you it's your energy. When your energy is right, when you are safe for the person who belongs with you, when it's the right time that the universe has decided, like, and you have to be right with your own energy. That's something that I don't know how long you've been in the room or with the live. We've been on for just a little over an hour now, but earlier I talked about how you really have to be right with yourself. You know, you have to look at the trauma that you've had over your life. You've got to clean it up as much as you possibly can and deal with the things that have hurt you over your lifetime. And once you get that in place, so once your energy is right, then you are right for a partner. Okay, so Dupree, let's see. Can I get some career job guidance from your guides? Sure. Could you be a little more specific with your question? Like, are you thinking of different options? Are you open to education? Do you have higher education or any kind of training? So Dupree, I need a little more. In terms of, like, for example, are you thinking, and I'm hearing IT. I'm also hearing electronics, and engineering, and cybersecurity. Those are the things that I'm hearing that you're interested in, perhaps. Okay, in terms of, oh, interesting. I was in healthcare marketing. I can see why you want to potentially change your career, because healthcare is getting hit hard. Are you here in the US? Yeah. So, in terms of healthcare marketing, I feel like your experience is something that healthcare really needs in the next 2 years, because the HR1 bill, what other people have been calling one big beautiful bill, it is not beautiful. It effectively ended the Medicaid expansion under the ACA. And because of that, a lot of medical care, especially in rural areas, is going to suffer. That said, healthcare agencies, healthcare organizations are going to need good marketing. So if you don't want to stay with the organization where you currently are, something you might want to consider is contract work. What I see as a downside of that is the lack of benefits. You'd be responsible for those out of pocket. Do you feel like you have the option of a really good job that you would like if you move to a larger city from compared to where you are now, or you get something that will allow you to do remote work? Healthcare marketing is a unique niche, but the concepts of marketing are universal. So okay, so you're in San Francisco already.
Go East Coast.
Yeah, my husband just said go to the east, check what's available on the East Coast, and I'm here in Chicago. So, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to move to those cities. Remote work is certainly a possibility for this. And if I were in your shoes, I would not accept a job that didn't offer the option of a remote position. But that's my opinion, and I could be wrong, because this is for entertainment purposes only. Why? You can do just as much effective work remotely as you can do in person. In fact,
Better.
I feel like you would be better at it. Yeah, right. Because you won't have as many interruptions in your week by doing remote work. You have the ability to better control your time and the interruptions that you would be faced with. You'd have to do online meetings, but you work on something and you give a delivery of a product. And
if I'm not wrong, many of the healthcare marketing places are based on the East Coast.
So
like Boston, for example.
Can you hear what my husband is saying? I don't want to repeat what he said if you can. Okay. So he lived in Boston area years ago. So let me put it this way. It doesn't hurt to talk to people. You already have connections, a network of people who can, hey, are you familiar with this company? Do you know anything about them? That kind of thing. You can ask around very subtly, that type of thing. I
don't see why not.
Yeah, I feel a yes to both. I think that you financially you could do well by continuing where you in healthcare marketing, and financially you can do well by doing something different.
If I may ask, which type of higher head do you have? Which field?
Yeah. Okay. So Dupree, he's asking what kind of degree you have, what field your degree is in. Or is your degree marketing? Is it, what?
Like,
yeah.
I, for example, have a degree in electronics. I work on everything but electronics. So,
okay.
With that one, I believe you can go just about everywhere.
And if you're comfortable in healthcare, you can take that MBA and move into a lot of different positions in healthcare. Like, and if you're
not only healthcare.
Oh yeah, the MBA would get you. There's a lot of doors that would open with that degree.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Sarabi, I see your question. Will my brother get selected in BPSC government job this year or next year? I don't see it. I don't see it happening. And I don't get timing. Spirit timing is completely different than our time here on Earth. Their time moves really fast. And so for me, they could say July and they don't tell me what year, right? So that's an example that's from us recently.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see it happening. And I don't know why. I don't know what's blocking that. I feel like he might be applying for the wrong job. Like if he applied for a different job, that would be his way in, and then he could move around. So maybe have him go back and reapply for other positions that look interesting to him, but aren't the one that he's really aiming for right now. Dupree, did I get all your questions answered? Anything else? Sarabi, I answered your question just a moment ago. Okay, does anybody else have any other questions? All right, I'm going to take that as a no. We've been on for almost an hour and 20 minutes. I wish you all the best day. I hope you have the great rest of your Sunday and that your week coming ahead is filled with lots of beautiful things. All right, and I'm calling it done. Thanks everybody for showing up. Thanks for all your questions. I appreciate your time. Have a good one. Bye-bye now.
Have a good one.